So when I got diagnosis through my surgeon had done some stuff on my leg where I'd had a mole out, and then he'd done some exploratory stuff and found that there was quite a large tumour in my groin, and weren't sure if it had spread anywhere else by then, but pretty much lucky for me, the company I was working for covered my medical insurance, so I got private medical in Dunedin for first 6 months or so. So it was pretty rapid. All that happened pretty quick. There was no waiting. I didn't have to get in a queue or anything, which was lucky for me. And then as time went on, all my treatments are in Dunedin through the private. And then when that funding ran out, then I moved back to the public. But I was still under Chris Jackson, the oncologist, still under his supervision, which was pretty cool. He's one of the top men of the world for me anyway. And so then from there, I started coming back and having treatments here, the Keytruda. So I had that for 2 years. So and probably over a year of it was here in Dunstan, and a good friend of mine's wife runs the treatments and all that in there, so that was good. She enjoyed stabbing me and doing the treatments and all that sort of thing, yeah. And then I had an operation and things didn't go so well, so then I had a couple of and then I got to the end of my 2 years, and then it grew back quite quickly. So then I had another operation, and then back with Chris Jackson, and then we tried the Keytruda for a while, but we didn't really get on top of it. So then we went to a self-funded drug, which is I only know its abbreviation name is IPI, and then the IPI, it reversed or got really on top of it and slowed down things. For me, Keytruda seems to hold but doesn't fix things, which is not that uncommon. It's sort of the way the drug works. And so since then, I've just finished another 2 years on the Keytruda. So three weekly treatments at Dunstan here with Carmen and her team, yeah.
So that's a type of chemo?
No, wouldn't call it chemo. It's immunology.
Immunology?
Immunology, yeah. Immunology treatment, yeah.
And
so no chemo for me. I had a run of radiation early before the surgery. Yeah,
okay,
before
cool.
one of my surgeries, yeah.
So you've gone to Dunedin for your surgeries, but you've been able to do your immunology treatments here?
Yeah, probably the late, but so like I might do the first 6 months or so. I've done two-year Keytruda treatments, yeah. And a year and a half of that's been in Dunstan, yeah.
So how many trips and hours to the hospital do you think? Like, have you got any idea?
Nah, not really.
A lot of time
mega
in that chair.
Mega time, yeah.
Yeah, you got to know those people pretty well, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Everyone's got your back, yeah.
And what kind of difference did it make to you and your family being able to do your treatments at Dunstan versus having to travel away?
Oh, it makes a massive difference because the wife doesn't have to drive me to Dunedin because you get quite tired after it. So I'm literally only 5 minutes from here. So I drive here, get tired, drive home, go to bed, have a snooze, and then that's your day. But if you have to do that in the car, it's nowhere near as you don't get as good a quality sleep or rest, or you're not in your own couch for sure. And yet there's always jobs to do when you go to Dunedin. So this way I can and let her work, because that's important, because financially there's a stress on everyone. So to let her still work and do all those things, it's very good, yeah.
Oh, it makes a massive difference, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it's massive, yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about like some of your experiences having treatment here, or some of the characters that you've been lucky enough to, like your mate's wife?
Oh yeah, well Carmen, I know Carmen from when we first moved back to Alex, started a business here. So her husband was working for Breen's, Graham. So and obviously the kids are all similar age. They're sort of not the same age, but sort of all similar age to our kids. So got to know their family very well, and then you got a familiar face. And not that she gives me special treatment, I don't think, but she definitely a great lady to have on your side, just like everyone else that's in that room doing their job properly, doing their job. They're an amazing bunch of ladies, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you come in for a treatment, how many hours do you sit in the room for?
So me, it's generally only 2 hours. I think it's only an hour of, so in that way it's not too bad, but it sort of takes 2 hours by the time I get here and then get out of here, it's 2 hours. But, some of the people are in here for most of the day, luckily for me, it's just 2 hours in and out. But it does take effect on me, doesn't take effect on everyone, but it's real good. I've only got 5 minutes to go down the road and I'm on the couch.
Yeah. What have you got anything to say like about the kind of the level of care that you get here, or how it feels coming here versus a bigger hospital, or?
Well, yeah, because the communities, you do know, you know people of people, or you come across, so everyone knows your background a little bit more than what you are in the bigger city. But the care, I think, in my experience, the care's been on par, not better than the bigger hospital. Obviously, you have a bigger, but Dunstan just seems to have that local feel about it. So you aren't in such a big queue if you're in the hospital, I suppose. So
would it feel like when you're coming to Dunstan that it takes the stress out of the whole scenario? Like it's easy to park, the people, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the stress, because the stress doesn't go away.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But definitely the fact that you don't have to go to Dunedin or Christchurch or anywhere else, it definitely does help. We're very lucky for us that we're only 5 minutes away, but yeah, if you're in Wanaka, it's 3 hours away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the early stages, the kids, we still had to get them to sports and do all those other things, but now they're independent, so it definitely made a difference early on, for sure.
Yeah, so if you had like a young family, and you were diagnosed having something this close, would be pretty unreal, right?
Yeah.
To come in and do treatment.
Yeah, well, they were pretty young, even though they're like getting out of high school. How many years? 6 years ago, they're still, 2 of them are still at primary school.
Yeah.
So
That's big.
So they had a grasp of it all, but they still wanted to know how they're going to get to the hockey or cricket or, netball. They still wanted to know about their daily, weekly rhythm, even though it's quite a traumatic thing for their dad to get diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, yeah. For me and my journey, it's made a massive difference that we could obviously be in Alex for much longer periods, be at home for much longer periods than if we had to have 3 days in Dunedin or, a week, and mostly would be overnights. But so all the trauma of getting your kids to someone else to help out, even though there's heaps of people putting their hand up, it's still way better having them under your roof, you know what I mean? So you can see how they are reacting and how they're growing up and whether or not it's taking effect on them, or it doesn't all happen on the first week. you have to keep an eye on them for the whole time, see what they're up to, you know, see how they're acting. But they're strong individual kids, so that's something that's come from it now.
Yeah. Hell of a story for them to have under their belt already, eh?
Yeah, not something you'd wish on anyone anyway.
Yeah. So, would you try saying being close to home, having treatment available close to home was really amazing for your family?
Yeah, so you definitely having the treatment close to home is the perfect solution for us as far as keeping the family unit together, making sure that we didn't have to travel and making sure we didn't have to take Nicola away from work and from her job and doing all those sort of things. All that stuff is a major change for where we're at.
Nailed it. Then.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. Yep.
Yeah.
So the golf day started out was right in the middle of COVID, so it was a real festival. Everyone was just like let out of their cage, if you want. It was a hell of a session, to be fair. But the fundraising, we made about 80 grand that first one. Everyone got quite excited. So and then the second one was we made say 60,000. So a very similar format and all that. So it makes it a little bit easier. But the tracking it down as sponsors and supporters is the pre stuff that mostly Nicola does, to be fair. And I just thought that I'd get melanoma. They do a lot of work towards it as well. It's not just a one-way street. So it just sort of made sense that we got half to the hospital because for this one, and probably the ones going forward if we do carry on. So then sort of make it more local as well. So you've given more to the community. Melanoma is a very broad thing, but everyone's sort of touched with melanoma if you want, and Central Otago because there's such a high rate of it. But the hospitals where it's at, everyone can relate. It has a hospital story, Dunstan Hospital story, like you're born here, or right through to all the other stuff that they've done for me here as well. So the fundraise, it just starts. So you get some real key supporters, and then you just go from there. So you make so there's 180 people play, so it's actually quite a big day. And we've had Matt Chisholm doing the MCing and that sort of thing, but he's double booked this year, so we're not going to have Matt. So that just saves me from getting a hard time, really. That's nothing else there. But everything else, so a lot of key people still rock up each time, to be fair. And the economy's not bouncing, but we're finding we're getting a wee bit more traction this year, but only in certain industries, yeah. So the cockies and tradies, it's as broad as you want it to be, really. So if you sold a toy to the farmer or, so everyone's involved, really. It's not to try to, that was just where I was, really. I was a cocky and a tradie, so that's where that part of it come from. Well, it was purely to give back because the community does a lot, even though there's not a direct line of, but there are people out there wanting, that help other people, or not even yourself, but are always giving. So for me, golf it's been my drug of choice for the last. I played golf before I got diagnosed, but it's definitely helped me. And the people at the golf club, they keep pretty real. I was the youngest there for quite a while, but on a Wednesday. But now there's a few people sneaking in on a Wednesday. But it keeps. I look forward to that every week for sure. So golf is a pretty simple thing to do,
And could you still play golf when you were getting your treatment?
Yeah. It's just around the operation times that it was tricky. So obviously having the treatment closer means you can still have a life even though it's limited through whatever sorry. So it means that I could keep up with, for me, golf is my outlet. So having all the treatments here it definitely has helped out on my bit of chocolate, I suppose, is golf, yeah. Yeah, so having my cancer treatment here has obviously freed up a lot of time that is not on the road, and has just made my healing a better process, much better process, yeah. So having my cancer treatment in Dunstan's made a massive difference to time saving and obviously not time on the road, and freeing me up for other things and not taking other people away from what they're doing to take me to the hospital and doing all those things of checking, making sure I'm not missing appointments, because that is also a problem I have, and it's definitely made a big difference, yeah. Being close to Dunstan's made a big difference to how our family have been able to live their life as much as possible without the interruption of having treatment in Dunedin or wherever, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Dunstan has been a lifeline. I don't know how I would have travelled if it wasn't there was totally wrong.
You can just say, I don't know how we would have managed.
Actor.
Yeah. So Dunstan's been, how would you say that in your own words? Just that bit, Dunstan's been a lifeline. Because you're pretty...
Because I think we would have managed. That's the problem with
Yeah.
that statement for me.
Yeah.
We would have got it done.
Yeah, of course you would have done.
So it's not like, I do know how we would have managed, but
Yeah.
because you have to. But yeah, so it doesn't really sit that right.
So having treatment close to home, what has that meant for you?
It's just means that the family can do their own, have been able to carry on with what they want to do, and without the massive chain, without us having to drive to Dunedin and
Time burden, probably.
yeah.
So
Right.
that's great though. Having treatment close to home has meant that the family can continue doing what they're doing. The kids can still play
Yeah.
sports. My wife can still go to work. We don't have to spend all that time travelling.
Yeah.
Try and say that again. Having treatment close to home has meant that the kids can still, my wife can still, without all of that disruption.
I'm just an example of how the local hospital can help people, and if that's through saving time, not being in the car and travelling, then that's a key factor for me and my family, yeah. Yeah, even though it's a stretch for some of them to get, like it's still quite a distance to come to this hospital.
Yeah.
And you add on another 2.5 hours, definitely makes a difference, doesn't it? Supporting Dunstan is definitely not just about me, but it is about the future and and for the future generations, and start that again.
That was good though.
That was good though. You had the right words and stuff. It felt good.
What did you say the key one was there?
Close to home.
Close to home.
Yeah.
Rural healthcare close to home.
You could also
Rural
we could
health
almost
care
use
close
that
to home.
and just add making sure that the next generation has care close to home.
Close to home.
Close to home. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you lose it, you got to use it or you lose it. But yeah, right.
If you tried for the whole thing, supporting Dunstan isn't just about patients like me, it's for the next generation so that they can have care close to home as well.
Supporting Dunstan is about making sure the next generation has the treatment close to home. Supporting Dunstan is about keeping this resource close to home.